Gentlemen, today when I was in Kisii town, I moved around and actually I saw 3 groups of men which were in separate places discussing politics. When I moved closer to listen what these guys were talking about, all the 3 groups were talking about Jimmy Wanjigi and John Mbadi. Not even the arrest, because the arrest came later on. They were talking about Jimmy Wanjigi because of his eloquence and the interviews that he has been doing in the country. People are also talking about the kind of information that he has, the way he's articulating his issues, and the way he's rich, something that people cannot forget. Now, why does the government fear Jimmy Wanjigi? Just to remind you, about 7 years ago, Uhuru Kenyatta went for Jimmy Wanjigi, but he could not manage him. Now, William Ruto is after Jimmy Wanjigi. Again, he cannot manage him. We all know that. Why do these governments fear Jimmy Wanjigi? Why are they going after him now and then? That is going to form the basis of this analysis. If this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that's the best support. Can you always give this channel? My name is Abil Mokwo. I have reasons here as to why Jimmy Wanjigi is being hunted by the government. Is being hunted by the government. Number one, Jimmy Wanjigi's richness. This guy is wealthy. And being wealthy in this country, that means you can fund a campaign, run a campaign, or even win an election. So therefore, everyone is actually after him because Jimmy Wanjigi is able to fund a presidential candidate here comfortably, or is able to run for a seat in this country, particularly the presidency, and even go ahead to win successfully. So therefore, the kind of wealth this guy has is always troubling most of the leaders in this country. And that's why they keep on asking about Jimmy Wanjigi, going after him, at least to try and make him spend his money, or even intimidate him not to use his money in any other way. Another thing that I came up with here is the information. Jimmy Wanjigi has been close to Uhuru Kenyatta, has been close to William Ruto, he was very close to Kibaki. Now Jimmy Wanjigi has so much about these people that if he decides to expose all of these things, probably the government is going to be hated, sink, or even be voted out by Kenyans overwhelmingly. So therefore, the threat that Jimmy Wanjigi poses right now, it's the information that he keeps on leaking. And he knows more and more and more because we found him predicting things that are happening right now in the country. So therefore, the government is very keen on Jimmy Wanjigi to intimidate him or even silence him from saying some of these things. Another reason that I came up with here is the association that he has been having between William Ruto and other leaders in the past. Jimmy Wanjigi, considering his position right now as a wealthy man in Kenya, the businessman can associate with any other person in the country. So therefore, this association that he has been making across the country makes him one of the most informed person. That means he has more friends, and if he decides to bring them on board, they can easily challenge the government. So therefore, Jimmy Wanjigi, being the leader as he is perceived to be, he has to be destabilized so that as the foundation of these groups, so that at least he can also destabilize the entire circle. So Jimmy Wanjigi is now being hunted by the government simply to destabilize many other people that are around him that would seem to be very powerful. Another thing that is here, Jimmy Wanjigi has so much international connections. So these connections that he's having internationally are able to fund his campaign, fund his opposition, and even support him in any other way to ensure that at least he has won even an election. So therefore, to ensure that these connections that he has do not make sense, Jimmy Wanjigi has to be arrested, has to be intimidated, has to be jailed, has to be beaten, has to be chased away to ensure at least there's no connection that is happening or communication that is going on with these people. Another thing that I came up with, it is the attraction that Jimmy Wanjigi has gained as far as the millennials are concerned. The millennials are the people who don't go to the streets that much. These are people who tend to have now finished school, are jobless, or some of them have jobs, but they are suffering because of the kind of policies that are being implemented in this country. So these people, when they listen to Jimmy Wanjigi, he has so many points that they pick from him because he tries to listen. It looks like he understands what people are experiencing, particularly the millennials. He understands the problems that they're experiencing. He understands the solutions they need, and he knows very well where to take the country to. So people, particularly the millennials, easily resonate with what Jimmy Wanjigi is saying. So as a result, you find many people feeling like, now, okay, this is the guy. So that kind of likeness that is developing towards the people is what the government does not like. Therefore, resulting to the arrest, intimidation, and of course, many other things that are happening to Jimmy Wanjigi, particularly raiding his home and destroying his things. Another thing that I noticed here, which is one major one, it is the Gen Z attraction. Gen Z is one of the most dangerous groups that we have in this country. This is a group that occupied parliament. This is a group that organized protest in this country, and they shook the country. Actually, parliamentarians fear the Gen Zs. The millennials fear the Gen Zs. Everyone in this country fear the Gen Zs. So this is a group, if they align themselves to you, they are informed. They know what to do, how to do it. So if they move to your side, that means they know why they are coming there. And to get them out of that place, it's going not to be easy, unless this person himself misbehaves. And if Jimmy Wanjigi has started developing attraction towards these Gen Zs now getting attracted to him, one by one, groups by groups, regions by regions. Jimmy Wanjigi can be their presidential candidate, or they can support their presidential candidate, and as a result, they can get Ruto out of office come 2027. So therefore, once again, that is the major reason as to why they have to silence Jimmy Wanjigi across the country. Now, another thing I want to say here, Jimmy Wanjigi has been saying that he himself, he has been funding even the Gen Zs during the protest. People fear Badi's intrusion now, bringing on the Finance Bill 2024. That means Gen Zs and millennials can be funded by Jimmy Wanjigi, will get to the streets, and they can destabilize the country. So therefore, the government has to ensure they have tamed Jimmy Wanjigi. Today, as we speak, on Twitter, actually on the X, the trending hashtags were Occupy State House, actually, also John Badi, reject the Finance Bill 2024. These are hashtags that can easily resonate with Wanjigi's support that he gives the Gen Zs and millennials in the country. So therefore, to prevent any close coming protest in the country, they have to tame Jimmy Wanjigi. So therefore, the government is working very hard to ensure that Jimmy Wanjigi has been tamed. Another thing that I want to talk about here, Jimmy Wanjigi right now as we talk is resonating with the entire nation. He has completely rejected the issue of Raila Amolo Odinga joining government and with his cronies. Therefore, he's saying that it was a wrong decision to do so, because he's justifying strongly that William Ruto and his government is a sinking ship. So therefore, he's saying it was not necessary for them to join government. And one thing now he has generated from there, it's an attack to both ODM, Raila Amolo Odinga and his people. And this means very well that Jimmy Wanjigi going forward, he has developed more enemies now who also want him to be silenced. As we speak right now, I want to relate Jimmy Wanjigi and of course Miguna Miguna's case. When Miguna Miguna was coming back to the country, Raila went to receive him in the airport. Despite Raila's presence and handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, Jimmy Wanjigi was still deported right from the airport. Raila pretended to be there to support him, but when Miguna Miguna was being deported from the country, he was there, he was present, and there's nothing he did. He didn't talk to his brother to bring him back, until Ruto brought him back later on. Now, Jimmy Wanjigi's case is still happening here now. It's a repetition of the same thing. When Jimmy Wanjigi was raided in his home, Raila went up to his home, he sat there, he listened to his lawyers, there's nothing tangible he told them, then he walked away, showing he is in solidarity with Jimmy Wanjigi, yet it is not. So as a result, you find that now Jimmy Wanjigi is getting the same punishment just as Miguna got it. And this is something that Kenyans must watch across the country, that Jimmy Wanjigi's case is not, it has just started. The war is going to be day in, day out to make sure that they have crippled him. Now, Jimmy Wanjigi generally is one of the most wealthiest, and I believe the way things are going right now in the country, because in the conversations that I had, Jimmy Wanjigi has the potential to bring down the government by himself, just if given the chance. Jimmy Wanjigi is one of the strongest men and businessmen you have in this country. A man you cannot trace any of his companies that is running currently active in the country, but is among the wealthiest in the country. He has so many deals, he knows about these gentlemen and women in power. Therefore, Jimmy Wanjigi can expose them. All these things combined make Jimmy Wanjigi a threat to both William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, Rigathi Gachagua, Uhuru Kenyatta, and any other person who is interested in politics and has had an association or has served in the previous governments before. My name is Abel Mukwa. This is another video, of course, I've done. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. There's some of you who have not subscribed despite watching my videos. Please take a second or so and hit that subscription button. And kindly, you can extend to that to give a like to this video and even hit subscription bell so that whenever we upload a video, YouTube can automatically notify you. My name is Abel Mukwa. See you next time.